So if you can, Stacy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I always was a recreation therapist, and I feel like God has started that work in me a long time ago. But when I became a mom, both of my children were very difficult on babysitters. I had babysitters calling me and crying. So my husband and I wanted to help other marriages with anybody that had children that were especially challenging, where you couldn't just call a babysitter like the neighbor teenager, where you really needed somebody that understood the child and had a little bit of skills, especially with special needs. So that's where our business started, was my husband had to take care of our children so that I could go out and help other people with their children. And that was the genesis of Your Respite.
And that is just so amazing, because just to understand, I've been married myself, but to understand what that means to have the love for others, to actually just say, I want to make a difference in their lives. So thank you so much for that, Stacy. But also, if you can just tell us, what are some of the ways that volunteers or donors or sponsors can actually make a difference for you there in your respite?
Okay, thank you. Well, we have been taking care of special needs children for, this is our 10th year, and we have over 15 different caregivers, so, it has grown. And I feel like God's vision that He's given me is to be able to serve, Metro Atlanta. And as we have grown and so many special needs moms know about us, we get hits on our website 2 or 3 a day for respite care, parents that have just, they just really need some help, and they'll say, sign me up. And they don't really know what that means. So we answer each one of those emails and tell them this is how it works. But with many families, their finances are stressed. So even though we only charge $18 an hour for a skilled caregiver that has experience with special needs, it's often cost prohibitive. So we just founded a nonprofit we're calling it Special Needs Respite. So the private financial folks, if they would like to help a family in need that is financially stressed, we are going to offer scholarships to help parents that could not afford child care to get it, so that they can restore their marriages, have some sort of normalcy in their lives again. So that's our heart and what we'd like to do.
Wow. Well, that's just really amazing, Stacey. And I would just like for you to share, what would an everyday situation, or what would a normal week look like to a married couple who has a special needs child but doesn't have anyone like Your Respite to come in, or doesn't have the finances to be able to get that person? So I'm just trying to see if you can just share, with our donors and those volunteers, what that looks like without that help to that family, to that marriage.
Thank you so much for asking that, because it is very different. With a lot of couples, only one person can work. And so let's say the father is working, the mother has to get these children up, dressed, and sent to a school. And even just picking what school is a big decision, because what school can really meet her child's needs. So there's a lot of research that goes into that. So let's say they have the right school, they send them to school, and they also have to have the school informed. So there is something called an IEP meeting that they have to attend to make sure that their child is getting all their resources. Then after school, somebody has to pick up this child and take them to therapies. Usually that is 2 or 3 times a week, where those children have to be run here and there for therapies and doctor's appointments, and if they are on medication, then that needs us. Parents are working very hard just to meet their children's needs, and by the end of the day, they're both usually very exhausted. And in any marriage, we have, have you done as much as I have today? So the husband comes home, he's exhausted, the wife is exhausted, and she's thinking, he doesn't know what I've been through. So when we come in, then we say, why don't you guys go out, enjoy your evening, and we make sure before we even step foot into that situation that we know that child. We've already interviewed the parents and asked them, what makes this child feel comfortable? What makes this child get aggressive? What makes this child calm down if they do get upset? So we do a lot of background work before we even walk in to help the parents. And then whenever they are out, I like to take a little picture of me and the child having some fun so that when the parent gets that picture and they're out to dinner, they can go, whew, okay, they're having fun, I can relax.
Wow. So, that's just really amazing to you, and it just touches my heart because I just think about how, we say everyone is God's children, but sometimes there are us who have special needs as God's children. And so what actually happens is you all are able to be those angels for those parents and those married couples. And that's just something that we just want everyone who's listening or watching this right now to understand, that you may think about you taking your son to baseball practice or taking your daughter to cheerleading practice. But what about that parent that may not be able to do that because of the support they need, and they still want to have the loving marriage and have those fun and those type of things? Well, your Respite wants to come in to be that support and that encouragement and that aid for you to be able to have this parent or that married couple to be able to enjoy life and not be so worried about their child, because all of us know when you have to take care of your child, you're going to stop. Because you're going to make sure you can take care of your child. So your life really goes on hold. And you all actually get to come in and say, you know what? We want to help you to try to have some normalcy in what you're doing and still let us enjoy your child. Because even talking to you, Stacy, I know you all may not can tell, but I see the love in your eyes for all of these children and for their parents. And so thank you so much. So is there one last thing, Stacy, that you would like to just say to those that are listening, to pull on their heartstrings to understand how important this is to make a difference in a family's life?
I think all of us have someone in our lives that has a special needs child. Whether you're the grandparent or you're the neighbor or you're just a friend that watches somebody struggle because they can't get to work because their child is in the hospital. If you have always wanted to help that person or just in general give somebody a break, we now have the capability. You can go on our website and give Respite. You do not have to be qualified caregiver. We are willing to do the work if you're just willing to give of your finances so that they can get a break.
Thank you so much, Stacy. And just remember that not only is your child getting support, but they're getting support by praying people too.
Yes.
Because that's so important to understand, that you have people with the heart that really cares. That makes so much of a difference. Thank you so much, Stacy.